Hello and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything live coaching session. I'm Justin, drinking coffee that always tastes better out of my SiteSwan mug. 1 o'clock Eastern over here. This is perfect coffee time. Perfect coffee time. Perfect time to also get random phone calls. All right, I'm very excited to do this with you today. Welcome one, welcome all. If you haven't done this before, we have some fun during these. We answer all the questions you guys might have. If you have done these before, welcome back. Good to see you. I know like one person, Melissa, wrote in, she's like, I don't even have a question. I'm just going to show up and listen to other people. Cool. That works. You don't have to ask anything, but if you do, I promise you'll get an answer. You may not like the answer, but you'll get one. I'm just teasing. Let's start the day off with asking about some wins. I want you to tell me about some wins. Questions tab on the bottom right, question mark inside of a circle. Find it, click it, and tell me a win. By the way, you're only going to be able to see what you write. You can't see what other people write. That's by design. It's for privacy purposes. You can share with us whatever you need to, whatever you want to. I have two moderators on here today, Brian and Tony Joy, who are going to help get your questions answered. They're going to push the questions that are most applicable to everyone kind of needing to see an answer for to me to answer live. But everything will get answered. And a lot of you have wrote in questions ahead of time, just like last time. So that means we get to tackle those. A couple of those I've been able to put a little effort and time into ahead of time to make sure that we have clear, succinct answers for you. So I want to hear wins. It could be a professional number of, if you got a sale recently, you closed a deal recently, got a great lead, got a demo scheduled, you got something going on in your web design world. I also want to hear if you got some personal wins as well. It's always important. It's so easy to forget about the stuff that goes well in our life. We focus on a lot of the negative, and the outcome of that, of course, is we seem to only have negativity. But I want to focus on some of the positive here. So give me something good that's happened over the last couple of weeks since we were together, or since you've signed up for that matter. Give me something, anything. I want to talk about it. I want to express it to everyone else. You deserve the credit for every little accomplishment that you could have possibly had. They may seem small to you, but I want you to see what happens when I announce some of these, because you'll see some people really get really excited. All right. Christy said, we got our first unsolicited request for services the other day from someone who just found us online. First time it's happened, hoping it can lead to a new customer. That's awesome, Christy. Congratulations on that. That's so good to hear. It's so nice to hear. Don't be surprised if it actually was a referral. You never know. You start talking to that person, you understand, yeah, I found you online, but, so-and-so told me to look for you. So that could be really cool as well. Terry says, I got a meeting with a potential client this afternoon. Good luck, Terry. I hope that goes well. When you say meeting, I'm kind of curious what that is exactly. Is it a homepage presentation? Is it just a meet and greet, kind of getting to know them, feeling them out if they would be a good prospect? Mike sold a property management site last week. Great job, Mike. Is it launched yet? I'd love to see it if you have. Love to see it. Okay, Tim's launching his 8th website later today with his newest client. First one of 2025. That's awesome, dude. Very, very good. Kira says we launched on the 6th of January and have what? 3 sales? Kira. Very, very impressive. Inside of 20 days, 3 sales. Kira, I got to know, what'd you do? How'd you get these deals? Let's hear it. Tell us more. Very, very exciting. Elena says, got 1 new client since I signed up in December. That's great. This is the time of year. Andrew says, in less than 2 weeks, I have 5 clients signed up and 2 more prospects. I don't want to hear anybody tell me that December and January is a bad time to do sales. I don't buy it for a second. You guys are all proving that theory wrong. Andrew says, I also started cold calling and got over my fear trying to sell over the phone using the provided scripts. That's awesome. That is awesome. we're going to start doing video versions of this. I think we're officially going to start doing the video versions, and you all are going to tell us these wins live on video so you can see how everyone else is reacting. Andre, no question, just saying, loving the new updates. Awesome. Terry was clarifying too about the meeting, and she's done a demo for them, which is awesome. Tom sold a site. Christine just got a dental office that reached out to her from a post on Facebook that her friend reposted for her. Got a dental office that reached out because of a friend who reposted a Facebook post. I don't want to hear anyone say that they're not going to go through the social outreach phase of our 14-day launch plan. I don't want to hear you say, well, I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a lot of friends on social media. Christine is proving you don't need a lot of people on social media, because what happened here? She posted something, someone else grabbed it, say, hey, Christine, I like you enough to repost what this is because I want to see you be successful. They put it out there. She gets the client. 14-day launch plan, folks. If you don't know what this is, you better get in on this. Kuzman says, got a potential client that came from a client I built a website for. We love to hear referrals. That's awesome. Mike is confirming that the sale he talked about is launched. The site is launched. Payment is set up. That's awesome. You just copy and paste the URL. If you want to show it off, you don't have to. Kira confirmed. Okay, so Kira got these deals, putting a post on Facebook exactly as it read in the 14-day launch plan. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Ed saying, cold calling is fun. Love the tools you provide. Site builder getting easier with each sale. Ed, I saw your questions come in. We're going to get to them. All right. I'm just going to read a couple more wins here. All right. The first one is, wow, look at this. Look at this site. Oh, my God. Very nice. We've got a potential site of the week right here. I'll show you guys this site. Look at how pretty this is. Wow. Very, very nice. Love how you modified the color scheme. Beautiful, beautiful job. I love that. Really nice, Mike. Really, really nice. Indira says, I did a Facebook post and got a lot of positive, encouraging wishes from friends and family. An old friend who works for a nonprofit requested help with getting a website for an organization. I saw your question come in. We're going to talk about it briefly today. All right. Everyone's starting to ask questions now. Guys, this is what I love to hear. Sharing your wins, focusing on the positive. If anything just stirred you up, got you excited what you just heard, I want you to shout it out. Everyone here can come in with a win. You just got to do the work. Follow our lead. We give you the templates. We give you exactly what to do, the step-by-step. Do the work, follow through, earn your money, earn your worth. All right. I want to start today by looking at the questions people have sent in ahead of time. I got this fancy new way of displaying questions. I predict it's going to blow up in my face, but let's try it, because who cares, right? It's just us. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, this is starting to work. Now it's backward. Okay, hopefully you all can read this fine. Here's what this question said. This was from, who was this from? Kuzman. All right. Kuzman said, I had a couple of demos where I had the potential client loving the design, but what they were concerned about was the ownership. I explained to them that I can give him login access, but they weren't satisfied. And said that, oh, I cut the last part off. and said that if they're paying for the site, they want full ownership. How would you approach that? So the idea of having full ownership of a website is an outdated way of thinking. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's an outdated way of thinking. I don't need my face this big. Let's go back here. So when you're talking about getting a website sold, um, the old school way of doing it, and maybe this was someone who may have had a website before and maybe used to the old way of doing things. But in order for that to exist today, what would have to happen is that they would need to pay an absurdly large upfront fee to have the site built out and then placed somewhere where they can technically host it themselves. Okay. That is the type of thing that an agency would probably charge no less than $5,000 for. And then the situation of, well, what happens when something goes wrong? How do I get help? They're going to have to pay the agency hourly, most likely, to get any modifications or changes made to the site. So is it possible that they will find someone to do it, quote unquote, their way? Yes. But let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros is that they technically own something. The cons, however, is that that is a site that was built in a specific point in time, and the site will always need to be updated, modified, so that it is in line with the latest technology, trends, etc. If they were to work with you, they would be paying a much smaller upfront fee. They would be paying essentially equivalent of a retainer fee that an agency might try to push onto them for regular changes. But that fee, so to speak, would also come with something that we call perpetual compatibility. This is me talking to the client. Perpetual compatibility, which means that your site will always look and work great on every single tablet, operating system, smartphone, whatever, anything that hits the shelves of Best Buy, so that you'll never have to make a reinvestment in your site infrastructure in order for it to look and work great across the board. That's like at the most basic level what the main differentiator is between owning a site outright versus paying a monthly fee to quote unquote lease a site. But look, there's a reason why the majority of car owners are now moving to the leasing concept is because you never have to worry about something going wrong, right? Why do people lease a vehicle? They never got to worry about something going wrong. They always got a new vehicle. So it's a very similar thing. Do you end up paying more for a lease than a car that you buy outright? Maybe if you pledge to keep that car for 15 or 20 years and nothing drastically goes wrong with it. But we all know how that goes based on the way cars are built these days. So that might be a good comparison to draw for them. Is, you might say, look, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're the type of person who buys a car and keeps it for a long time. Is that right? Oh, yes, it happens to be. Yes, Kuzman, yes. Well, let's talk about the alternative, which is to lease a vehicle. And then kind of break that down for them so they can understand. It's less and less common that I hear people talking about the idea of owning a site outright because the potential pitfalls of having to manage a site that was built at one point in time and keeping it up to date in the future is a task. It's a very, very, very big task. My next question that also came from Kuzman, if I can get this to operate properly, is, nope, that's it. I had a potential client ask me if I could build him a news website where he would basically add blog type posts with pictures every day and incorporate Google AdSense monetization. This is one you walk the other direction from. If it doesn't fit the mold of a typical quote unquote small business, this is not going to be a site that you are probably going to want to try to tackle. Especially if my kind of rule of thumb is like never go off the grid for your first 20 sites. Just don't. Don't start doing crazy e-commerce or really any e-commerce at all for like your first 10 sites, I usually say. Don't start going way above and beyond our themes. Stick to what our themes offer, something adjacent to it. If you need a new theme built, you ask us, we do it. We do it really fast for $100. If you guys don't know about that, we do offer this. It's like you have an opportunity to sell a website This happens a lot during the social outreach phase and warm outreach phase, where you're just putting yourself out there and being like, hey, I'll build a site for you. And they're like, oh, okay, I have a, I don't know, some obscure business that they do. And you're like, shoot, I don't have a theme for that. For 99 bucks, you can reach out to us, ask us to build the theme for you. Give us 2 to 5 days. We will put it together, make it look like $1 million, and you will have the ability to create not one, but as many sites as you want for that industry in no time flat. So that is something that you can do if you run across that situation. But new site, not a good fit. I would not advise going down that road. You will spend much more time than you'd like trying to make that client happy. All right, here is where we are going to have some fun. Armando and Ed have wrote in asking about a particular client who is asking for something very, very specific. Now, this is rare that you have a client asking something like this, but here's what Ed and Armando is saying. They're saying, hey, we have a client who is looking to do like a gallery post where it's like 4 images across, and kind of like something like this, okay? But instead of just images, they want text overlaid on top of the image. Now, it's technically not a feature that we have built into the platform where you can turn an image like this in a gallery or columns post into this, but we can cheat a little bit. And I'm going to demonstrate how you would go about cheating, okay? And it's a little bit of a cheat for really one primary reason, but you can technically make it happen. So let me show you how. So the first thing we are going to do is get into a demo site to play around with. I have like beat up this site a million times because it's like first on the list, so it's always like my victim. But here's what we are going to do. We want to recreate that repairs thing, okay? So I'll quickly do a little demonstration. I'm going to add a post. I'm going to do an image. By the way, since when is all this text blue? Have you guys noticed this? This should not be blue. I don't know why it's blue. I'm writing this down. Blue text, add section, not right. Not right. That should not be blue. All right, I'm going to add an image post, click add to site. Now we have this image. Watch this fun. You guys may or may not know about the image editor we have built in. It's not the best thing in the world, but it'll get it something like this done. So I have the image. I don't know which image it was. Where is it? This one here. And I'm going to click the edit icon. This takes me into an image editor that allows me to make some modifications to it. So if I want to replicate what that was with text on top of the image, I'm going to do 2 different things. If I just put text on here, it is going to probably not look the best, only because of my contrast with a very complex background, okay? When I have a complex background, it's difficult to have any color text effectively look good on it. But it is technically doable. So I am going to enlarge this and write repairs. This is going to look a lot like what I was just showing you. Then I'm going to apply that, and then I'm going to close this out. I'm going to put a shape on here of a rectangle. Now I'm going to make this rectangle fill my entire screen, my entire image. Good. And then I'm going to click apply. And now I'm going to change the color of it to black. I'm going to apply that, and I'm going to change my opacity to like, I don't know, 50% or something like that, okay? And apply that change. Now, what I have here looks good, but oops, I don't have my layers right. The black is on top of the white. So I'm going to click repairs. I'm going to bring it to the front, bring to front. That's this little icon is, okay? Close that out, bring this back up, close that out, and there we go. Now I click save, and this is going to get saved back to my image library, so I could take this image and I could bring it into my site in a columns post or a gallery post or whatever, even a regular image post, okay? And this is what it looks like. So you can do it. You can do it. It's not 100% perfect, and the reason why I call this a cheat is that maybe, perhaps, in an ideal world, if this was what we were looking to do, okay? It's pretty close. It's almost the same font, actually. If this is what we're looking to do, and we had a feature for this, we might make this like editable text. We might make this text that was search optimized if we were to roll out a feature like this, but we don't have that. So this is the cheat. That's why I'm calling it a cheat, because it's a technically imperfect solution. But if you have a client who's like, I need to have this, then technically you can give it to them. All right. Is that helpful? All right. Let's save them. I'm just going to delete this. We don't need this right now. All right. Next question. Next question. And I think everyone who I've got here in terms of the questions is on here today. So that's good. All right. Ed and Armando have a couple of other questions that I'm just going to quickly display. Quickly display. All right, here we go. They also said, wondering why so many sections are all tied together with font selection, title selection, for instance. Is there a way to customize font for certain sections? And then this last part got cut off, so I'll read that separately. So no, the short answer is no. It's a cardinal sin to use a bunch of different fonts throughout the site from section to section. There is a very specific reason why when you go to the font section, you are only permitted to set a title and a paragraph and a navigation font, and that's it. We don't allow overrides on each post in each section, because I will tell you right now, you or your client, I'm not going to blame you, someone is going to make their sites look hideous. Okay? It's going to look hideous. We don't all have a built-in sense of what makes a good design. I'll tell you what does: consistency. So by preventing the user ultimately from being able to do crazy stuff, that is something that we have done by design, because quite frankly, I promise you, you won't regret the fact that you can't do that kind of stuff when you just do it the right way and things look good. The other question was looking to add ribbons or starbursts for businesses that celebrate milestones like 25 years in business. I am pretty sure that if you go to, let me just check something real quick. If you go to add a post and you go to the image library, I'm going to check Pixabay first. I thought for sure I would find a celebrating 25 years thing. Let me try Unsplash. Man. Would an anniversary image maybe work? I really thought I'd be able to find you something off the shelf that you could just grab, download, and build into the site for something like that. I know for a fact that badges and things like this exist online that you can purchase the images from on the cheap too. So do this, guys. If you're looking for something custom like that, in the resources section of your dashboard, go and find these, okay? Where are they? So Pixabay, we saw ISO Republic, check them out. Check out Storyblocks, okay? We used to have, there it is, Deposit Photos. Check them out. I can almost guarantee you they have one. I can almost guarantee you they have one. The individual images are not at all very expensive, and it'll save you time and hassle of having to attempt to design one yourself, okay? All right, the next question that we have is from who asked this? If I take a site offline, Andrew's killing it with sales right now. Let's enlarge this so everyone can see it. If I take a site offline, is there a way to make updates or changes? So, not yet. Not yet. If you take a site offline, We're working on this, but I don't think it's done yet. Any offline site you are not able to edit or access. But we're working on this because there's a reason we need to. Let me just triple check this. Site details, edit, take offline. If I click on the link, it doesn't load. Okay, so you can't do it. But if you're like, what are the concerns here? Andrew's probably thinking to himself, well, if I put the site back online, my client's going to see it. So I don't want to let them see it. Now, first of all, chances are they're not going to see it in the 5 minutes it takes you to go and log into the site. But if that's the concern, here's what I would do. I would go to the edit screen for the site and change the URL for the site. So this subdomain, just make it something crazy, okay? And then click save. So now even though you could turn the site back online, ain't nobody gonna know where to find it because the URL they had is not gonna work. Now, if you have a custom domain linked to this site, just simply go to the site, go to the settings domain name and pull out the domain name. Pull it out temporarily, save it, go back, and now edit the site on the staging URL. Okay? So although you can't edit an offline site, that's the way you can go about doing it. Is there a way we can get a coming soon page option while building out the site? We don't have that. I don't envision it being a thing, only because you can easily just write a post that says coming soon, hide everything else, okay? You can also, if you want, you can build out the homepage on a hidden interior page, okay? So like your homepage could consist of just one post that says coming soon. Hide everything else. Just hide it, hide it, hide it, hide it. Then go over to a different page of your site, build out what you're going to do on the home page, okay? Get it all looking perfect. And then when you're ready, move the post to the home page. How do you do that? Click move, and you can move it to a different page. One little pro tip for this is that when you move something to a different page, it's going to slot it in at the top of the page. So my suggestion, why do I have the wrong thing enlarged? Guys, I'm sorry. You can't even see what I'm doing. Hold on a second. Still learning. Okay. So yes, you would build everything out on an interior page, move it over one by one. You click the move button, select the page you're going to move it to. You're good. As I was saying, thanks, Elena. I was saying is that when you move stuff from page to page, they are going to get added to the top. So what you want to do when moving stuff from one page to another is always start at the bottom post. Start at the bottom post, which is right here. Move this one first. Then come back and move this one. Then come back. So you're building it from the ground up the other way. Andrew, my pleasure. Thank you for asking some great questions. Cool. Next one up. Christine. Christine, who just celebrated a win also. Christine, it's my pleasure to answer your question. All right. If a company has a client portal link, is the best option to create a link to the portal? 100 million%. What is Christine talking about? So Christine's talking about like a doctor's office or a sports camp or something like that, where like there's this portal that people, it's usually HIPAA compliant, it's usually secure, it's whatever else. You can just simply link to it. Don't try embedding it. Don't try playing none of those games. Okay. What you want to do is you want to create on your manage pages screen. You're going to click not add a new page, but you're going to click add new offsite link. So you're going to do whatever, patient portal. Here's the URL. And then click save. So now what happens is patient portal appears on your navigation bar. It's currently last. Let me just bump this over. It's currently last right here. And this will take me offsite in a new tab right over to the new, right over to the patient portal. Okay. That's the fastest, easiest way to do this. Do not overthink it. Okay, so that's that. I'm really busting up this site. I'm really doing damage. All right. Christine also wants to know, I have an upcoming demo for an event company that also sells balloons and items. How do I demo incorporating e-commerce? I would almost never demo that until you've got a deal in the books because it can be a little consuming. Yeah, in order for you to do e-commerce, you have to use their the client's PayPal email address to kick off the e-commerce. At least when you're building it, built into our platform, the built-in e-commerce function. So I'll just quickly show you what that looks like. So if I go to the site details page and I if I go over here, integrations, in order to get e-commerce kicked off, I have to have an email address associated with a PayPal account to connect. Once this is connected, then I could start adding products to the site. But I can't do that. So if you don't have their actual PayPal account, can you guys hear me? Ed's saying he lost audio. Am I okay, or is there a problem? All right, I think I'm good. Okay. So the only reason why I say that it's not a great idea to demo this is because if you don't have their actual PayPal account, you are going to have to basically disconnect e-commerce and then reconnect it, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I don't suggest demoing much, if anything, about e-commerce before you have the sale on the books. So I hope that answered the question. Also, let me just tag it with this, okay? If this client does not have a website currently, maybe you can talk them into just getting a site first without e-commerce and then adding e-commerce in later. Maybe that could potentially work. That would probably save you some hassle. All right, here's a big one from Jason. I promised Jason I would do this, so buckle up. By the way, you're not going to love the answer, but we'll make it worth your while. Okay. So Jason says, I have a client. Let me enlarge this. I have a client who has a main website and 2 subdomains. The client is asking for a way for the site visitors that has clicked on either of the links and has the ability to go back to the main website from the subdomains. I can't unfortunately find a way to implement this for her. So here's the site in question, and I'm just going to pull this up and let's talk about this. Okay. Now, Jason got very, very creative, I have to say. Jason did a very good job of being able to essentially, find a good solution / workaround for this. But I think you might be overthinking it just a smidge, and let me show you what I mean. So this is Jason's site, beautiful, beautiful site for a weight loss and wellness site. He's got a little pop-up action here. He's got the chat in the bottom. You're killing it. Really nice job. Video background and the hero image, looks really, really great. Okay. Now here's what's going on. On the services dropdown, there are 2 links, and both of these links are going to, watch the URL, it just changed. See, now it's a subdomain. For guys who don't know what a subdomain is, it's anything.website.com. Okay, that's a subdomain. And what's really cool is that you can assign a subdomain to a SiteSwan website. So what he's essentially doing is he's using 3 sites in his account to service this customer. They have their main website and they have 2 additional sites, each on its own subdomain. Now, his concern is, how do I get people to go back to the main site once they are here? Look what he's done. See how cool this is? He actually built in a little custom code here, the ability for people to say continue or take me back. So my thing is this. I don't believe that a subdomain is the right solution for this application. And why do I say that? Because to me, I can't think of a good reason why a page like this can't exist on the client's regular site. I think this would actually do quite well as part of the site. Now, maybe there's something I'm missing, and there's another reason which you can chime in on the questions tab, Jason, and fill me in. But to me, it feels like, why not just have a page on the site that talks about weight management? And here's one of the big their marketing people wanted it. Oh, marketing pros. Okay. Well, tell those marketing pros a big problem with subdomains. And that is, it's been proven time and time again that subdomains do not garner the same types of search results that non-subdomains get. Okay. So Christy's asking, how'd you do those drop downs? Let me quickly show you. The drop downs are simply done by doing this. When you're creating a page, right? Let me just go to manage pages. What I can do is I can make, let's pretend whatever, testimonials is a service, okay? I can go to make testimonials. I'm going to edit it. And then what I'm going to do is make subpage of, instead of none, I'll make it our services. And look at that. It goes into a drop down, okay? That's all you got to do. Save your changes. You're good to go. All right. So back to what we're saying. So it does not get as good of search results as just URLs that are on the primary domain. Also, the idea of alerting people or prompting people to go back to a site that they just left seems a little counterintuitive, because the whole point of getting people to the landing page is to what? What's the point of getting people to a landing page that is very specific about a service? Who's got the right answer? The whole purpose of a landing page is to keep them on. Yes, Christine, but create an action. What kind of action, Kevin? What kind of action, Ed? Usually it's to, yes, a call to action. Not necessarily a sale, but ask for more info. Yes, you are looking to capture the lead. Thank you, Elena. You're looking to capture the lead. So what you don't want to do is tell people, whoa, are you sure this is the landing page you want to be on? Because you could just go back. That's not a good solution. So I don't want to get you into a fight with the marketing people over Lotus weight loss and wellness, but I would first of all question the importance of linking back, and I would secondarily question the importance of having the subdomain, because in your expert opinion, having a page on the site that is devoted to that service is actually a better solution, and one that's arguably more easily managed on the site than having off-site URLs. And I'm sure you're charging them a lot more because they are now occupying 3 sites in your account. They don't need to know that. So I don't think you should, have to cut your price by 3. But I think is, hey, look, in the process, I could save you a couple bucks too, because it's fewer things to manage. You're not even charging them extra. Oh, Jason. If people are occupying more than one site in your account, you got to charge them extra for it. It's like renting out an apartment building. Okay, I got this actually from your soft-hearted. Hey, I hear you. You're trying to do the right thing by the client. I got you. But this was actually you're going to see, guys, in an upcoming interview that I did with one of our resellers, Bill Boone. He's killing it. And one of the things he did, he's like, I compare my SiteSwan account to an apartment building. He's like, where I collect rent for each apartment. And he's like, I'm done collecting $49 a month rental fees. He's like, I'm beyond that. I'm going way up market. So I was like, oh yeah, it kind of is like an apartment building. Like each of the slots in your account is worth something to you in terms of what you can bring in for it. So by just giving slots away, you're actually foregoing opportunity to earn income from those slots. Now, look, you got a lot of slots in your account, especially if you're on the pro plan, whatever. You got a lot of room to move around and do whatever the heck you want to. But don't give away the farm either. Is that the term? Give away the farm? I don't think it is. Give away the something. I don't know. Something agricultural related, I believe. All right, let's do a couple of others. I got through most of these that you guys have asked ahead of time, but I do want to hit a couple more. All right, Terry, you were on. You submitted a win. I am going to get to your question right now. All right. Terry is saying, should we use page-specific SEO for every page on our websites, including the homepage? If so, do we still need to enter site-wide SEO? Great question. I love answering SEO questions. So what is Terry referring to? She's referring to the idea that each page of your site should have separate SEO terms. So site-wide SEO is important to have. Give away the store. Thank you, Stephen. Give away the store, not the farm. It's not agriculturally related. If you go to the SEO settings from the settings dropdown, you are going to see that the title, description, and keywords that are entered here, you're using our theme, it's done automatically, are going to automatically be applied to any page that does not have page-specific SEO terms to override these. Where do you do that? From the Manage Pages screen. So if I want to override my global SEO, I'm simply going to toggle this on, use page-specific SEO. We give you a template for how you might craft the page-specific SEO. Copy-paste this into this box and then update it for this business. I copied the wrong thing. I didn't think that I copied the wrong thing. There you go. So you just swap this out. Clearly, ABC Plumbing is the name of the business. Trusted Local Plumbers is exactly what the thing that is that they do in the city name. You get the idea, right? This is the template. So hopefully that answers your question, Terry. Great question. All right, Kevin I saw was on here. I think he submitted a win also. It's like automatic at the top. When you submit a win, I'm going to answer your question, gosh darn it. All right. Kevin said, do you have a plan in the future to add more functionality to your web forms like drop-downs, radio buttons, select features, etc.? I'm using Cognito Forms, but just wanted to see if that would be something to possibly add. Yes, Kevin, that is something. But as you can see inside of Cognito Forms, everyone's like, what's Cognito Forms? Let me tell you. If you are tasked with building a complex email form for a client, it's going to happen at some point. Someone's going to say, oh, I just need this form on my site that asks 17 questions and lets people upload a document and like sends this thing, blah, 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 blah. You're like, how do I do that? So come over to the resources section of your dashboard, and I want you to find, wherever it is, Cognito Forms. I used to recommend another one. I'm on the Cognito Forms bandwagon right now. So if you're looking to get a custom form built for your client, you set up one Cognito Forms account and you can build a bunch of forms for all of your clients. They offer such granular control. It's amazing. It's a slight learning curve, but really not that bad. So we'll never be the equivalent of a Cognito Forms, but will we give you some additional options like checkboxes and radio buttons? Yes, it's on the horizon. We've already started speccing it out. It's just a little bit tricky with a couple of things that we predict people are going to want to expect that are add-ons to that right away that are just holding us back a little bit. Why am I keep doing this with my screen? Sorry, guys. Small screen again. Cognito Forms resources section of your dashboard. Okay. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Elena. My gosh, just keep doing that to me if I keep screwing that up. All right. And then the second part of the question is, what would be your suggestion to add a dedicated 404 page to your website that Google would recognize? So I'm not clear on why you'd want to do this. 404 is generally like an error that the page is not found. So I'm going to actually, I saw someone else ask something about this before, and I'm going to touch on this. If you, chances are, if you're asking this question, it's because you have helped a client transition from another thing, another website, and their URLs for their old site are appearing in search results. So what you don't want is these ugly page not found things that happen when people are finding URLs that don't exist on the new site, only on the old site. What do I mean exactly? So let's just say this client's, let's go back to our friend here, Lotus Weight Loss and Wellness.com, right? Let's say they had an old site and one of the pages was meet the provider without the hyphens. That could happen, okay? Now, here's the thing. On our platform, if you put spaces in between the words of your page names, we're automatically going to put in hyphens. We're not going to condense it into one. That's just our rule. It's better, but it's our rule. So if they had a previous site where meet the provider was without the hyphens, that's going to cause a problem, because if that's coming up in Google search results, for example, people click on it, they're going to get taken to a page not found on your site, something you cannot control the design of. But to get around that, here's what you're going to do. From your site screen, you're going to go to Site Details. Don't duplicate it, Justin. Go to Site Details, and then go to URL Rewrites. What's cool about this is I can put in any URL string that was available on the old site. Meet the provider. Was that what it was? Meet the provider? I don't even know what it was anymore. Yeah, meet the provider. So let's say this was it. Meet the provider, no hyphens. And I can point it to the page on my site that I want them to go to. And then you can click Save. So now if anyone types in this URL, where it's url.com/meet the provider with no hyphens, or they find it in search, it's going to automatically, instantly redirect them to the page on the site you want them to go to. Okay? That is how that works. So I know one of you asked about URL rewrites. So I figured I would do that for you. All right. So that was Mike's question. URL rewrites. So here's the thing with them also, Mike. It's very much a one-time. It's very much has a lot of upfront impact, because once Google starts to understand and recognize that, oh, this page is being redirected somewhere else. Maybe we shouldn't feature it in search results anymore. We should just feature the page it's being redirected to. So it's not going to provide really long-term benefit, in the sense that after a while, those are just going to fall out of the good graces of Google. Okay, but it's nice in the beginning. So I include them for my clients. I'm like, I'll just do it. Don't worry about it. It's usually I'm bringing them from a site that was only 5 or 8 pages at most, so it's not a big deal to do those. If the client has, 500 blog articles in their old site, and they're like, we're getting rid of the blog articles, but we still want to, get the traffic that those were pointing to, then obviously you got some work ahead of you that you should probably charge for. All right, Christy asked about the email forms, very similar to what we just talked about. Terry says, can you left align the text of drop-downs rather than having them horizontally centered? No, Terry. That is a good question, but no. When you do a drop-down on the site, it's always going to be centered horizontally. It's a good question, though. I really like that. All right, Elena says, when we advertise SEO services as included in the cost, what exactly are we advertising? So I always like to say that it's basic search engine optimization, making sure the site has the best possible chance of coming up first in local search results based on the content and structure of the site itself. There is literally a million things you can offer for SEO, and one of them, someone else asked about this, reputation management. So like what you're doing is you're promising them that the site is best optimized for terms that will get them found locally in search results. And it's extremely rare that someone is going to ask you for a very detailed list of exactly what's included. But the short answer is that you're optimizing all the content on the site, both what's being said on the site as well as the code. You're structuring the code properly to get found locally. You are also going to use proper meta tags to speak to the search engines behind the scenes in the code. And then if you're using our search engine submission tool, you're going to submit the site to the search engines every month, which is something that for a few bucks is something I would argue everyone should be doing for all the sites. Now, but the other part of this is that there's reputation management, which is a very big thing that helps people achieve greater search results. And let me just quickly talk about this because almost every single time we do one of these, I get a question on it. So you know better than I do that you won't go to a small business unless you first check out their reviews online. However, most small businesses are completely in the dark about what's being said about them online. They have no sense of what their average star rating is, what the best or the worst comment said about them online is. They're in the dark. So what you can do is you can offer them the ability to receive a report like this in their inbox every single day. They will get this delivered to them automatically, telling them the average star rating across all of the networks that they have reviews on, the total number of reviews they have, reviews broken down by star rating, broken down by source, and then every review they've ever gotten in chronological order. Each one can be viewed or shared independently, which is great for marketing purposes. This can be printed out, and again, an email is going to their inbox every single day with this information. So this alone is worth what you'd be charging your client. You should be charging your client at least $100 a month for this service. Now, the second part of this service is really cool because it's what we call an intelligent review request form. This is a form you'll add to your client's website that asks people to review the business. And if they select 4 or 5 stars and they input their review, we're immediately going to let them copy and paste that and post it to either Google, Facebook, or Yelp, their choice. Why is that important? Because lots of times people will know, oh, I'm logged into Google right now, or oh, I never go on Yelp, or I'm always on Facebook, I'm logged in there, and they can make that review go public a lot quicker or do all 3 of them, which is even better. So if, however, they do a 1, 2, or 3-star review, then not a good experience. Instead, they are prompted to fill out a slightly longer form that gives them an opportunity to provide every detail about what occurred that made them feel they were not serviced properly. That those 2 things, number 1, it helps the client feel heard. And number 2, it is going to help the business owner potentially find a resolution to the problem and convert that client from a 1, 2, or 3-star rating into a 4 or a 5-star rating. The more 4 and 5-star ratings a business has, the more likely they will appear at or near the top of search results, because when searching for local businesses, one of the things that you are going to find is very, very common is for what's called a Google Business Profile to pop up, which looks like this. And this is where you'll see the average star rating and the total number of reviews that the business has. And this is how people are weighing in a Google search how right or wrong this business is for them. Very similar experience when you're going on Yelp and Facebook, same thing. So reviews across all 3 platforms are incredibly important. Speaking of reviews, you've seen me do this before, folks, and today, if you are new, which some of you are, or if you've been shy before, here's your chance. If you would like yourself a nice little SiteSwan coffee mug like this, I'm going to ask you, go ahead, find us on Google, click over here where it says reviews, and then click leave a review or write a review. Do this, write a review, screenshot it after you post it, send it to info@siteswan.com. We will get you a coffee mug just like this, okay? We will do that for you. If you've already left us a review and you have a different email address you want to use, then by all means, I'm not going to stop you. Am I asking for a 5-star review? I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. But I won't stop you from posting a 5-star review. That's up to you. In all honesty, whatever it is, I want honesty and only honesty in your reviews. Okay, I am by no way trying to incentivize you to say something that you wouldn't normally say. Okay, but if you do want to take the time to do that, you will get rewarded. screenshot it, send it to info@siteswan.com. We will take care of you. Mike's saying, will there ever be a way to upload video files as backgrounds on the site instead of having to copy and paste a YouTube or Vimeo link? For example, my marketing website, you can see the YouTube video loading in the background. So, Mike, one of the challenges with this is that uploading videos to the site inherently greatly increase the amount of bandwidth that we are forcing down people's throats when they're trying to load the site. And it has and can have a very big impact on site load speed. In addition to that, YouTube is so good at optimizing the size of the video and the play speed. The quality is always high and stuff like that. They're like, why are we going to reinvent the wheel if it's already there for us? I do know what you mean. Sometimes you'll see a quick little split-second thing of like a little YouTube thing on the top or bottom or whatever. But I will say one of the ways I've found you can overcome that is if you don't open the post so tall and you kind of shrink it down just a little bit, you'll actually cut off the part where you see the title of the video and some of the play controls. So that's like a little bit of a trick to avoid that. Let's see. Okay. So Ed is saying, I recall you said that people associate prices with you get what you pay for. That is very, very true. The $49 a month should be $99 a month. Yes. So it's relatively recent, but we have been strongly recommending that when you are, I don't care if you're starting out, you're in a growth phase, you're doing this for a while, whatever, I would really like to see you charging $99 a month for your sites. We used to always recommend $49, but let's be honest, we used to recommend $49 13 years ago when we launched SiteSwan. Okay, things have changed. So $99 value per month is extremely reasonable for the type of site that you are going to be putting in the hands of your client, and all day, all night, you'll be able to sell at that price point. Just try it and you will see. So Ed's saying, well, I currently charge $9.99 for a 5-page website. It's a great price. It's actually in the sweet spot. We recommend between $500 and $1,500 for a setup fee, plus the $99 a month. So you're right in the middle. You're perfect. And then Ed also charges $150 for additional pages. That's also great. I'll charge $100. I've seen people charge $200. $150 is a perfect price for additional pages. So when you're asking what is the ideal setup fee, if you're charging $99 a month, you're at it. You're at it right now. That's actually like a great combo. $9.99 up front, $99 a month. Easy breezy, easy to do. Ed, if you're going to second guess yourself about this price point, you can let people say no and count. Count how many are saying no to you. And then count how many you are getting regardless. And when you do the math, you're going to see, I'm coming out ahead. I'm making more money on fewer clients. That's the deal. If you really don't believe in yourself, you obviously can discount the 99, but make that your list price, so to speak. Let people object to it. See what happens. You will not be disappointed by the idea of moving to that price point, I think. All right, we're coming up on the hour mark. I'd like to ask you all, let me just, these most recent questions I'm just going to quickly look at. God, I need my glasses. All right. You guys asked some great questions today. Renee, just so everyone else hears this, Renee's saying, can we sell reputation management to clients that we don't have a website for? Yes. You technically have to create a quote unquote site for them first. But you watch how quickly you're going to convert reputation management clients into website clients. It happens all the time. Christine's saying, is that example email of reputation management somewhere we can show for an example during a demo? The email itself looks very, very similar to the report. It's actually, I think, a little prettier than the report. So we don't have an example of that handy anywhere, but I don't think that's going to be a part of the sales process. What's a part of the sales process is seeing ultimately what that email is going to open up when they click on it. And That's what you're going to get. Can we do more than the 4 in the reputation management? Not sure what that means, Ed. Indira's got to hop off for a work call. All right, cool. So at this point, what I want to hear from you all is because we are getting to the wire here. I'd like you to go into the questions tab and give me one key takeaway from today's chat. It could be a win that someone else had. It could be a question someone else answered. It could be hopefully an answer that I gave you. Anything and everything, something you took away from this session today. I want to know what's resonating with you guys to make sure that we're focusing on the stuff that really matters, because the more that I can deliver value to you all, the better that I consider these sessions to be. We have been doing these every 2 weeks or so, just to let you know, as far as the calendar, what things look like moving forward. We are going to have one on February 7th at the same time, so exactly 2 weeks from now. And then as of now, it looks like we are going to be, the next one after that looks like it's going to be the 28th of February. So we're going to do 2 in February, the 7th and the 28th as of right now. All right. Some takeaways. Andre, the subdomain consideration. Cool. Cool. Jason, same thing. Subdomains. That's cool. Kuzman liked the text over the image trick. My pleasure. Christine appreciated the drop down. Recommendation on pricing. How to pitch reputation management. Terry liked the idea of how to link to a patient portal, the Cognito Forms thing, URL rewrites, the response review form, part of the reputation management. Cool. I'm glad you got a lot out of this then. Ed appreciates knowing the price range sweet spot. Sammy loves the URL rewrites. Mike's happy to hear that $99 a month isn't a stretch at all. It's currently doing no setup fee plus $99 a month, so hearing that it's a good price range was good to hear. Cool. I'm glad. Katrina liked to get clarification more on current pricing for setup and management fees. Cynthia appreciates the tips and tricks for the training. Ken appreciated hearing about the cold calling info. And Lisa says all of it. You guys rock. I just want to remind you that being here on a Friday afternoon is saying something about your commitment to yourselves. We're in a new year. People make resolutions. People set goals for themselves in a new year. Do not give up on those. More importantly, I want you to consider making a very, very, very firm, specific goal for yourself regarding the number of sites you're going to sell in 2025. All right. I want you to do, I think everyone should take a minute to say exactly how many sites they plan on selling, exactly how much money that's going to equate to, and I want you to put a timeline on when you're going to achieve that. One of the problems I think a lot of people will do is they will put a goal out so far in advance and they make it so lofty that it feels impossible to ever get there. So if you are committed to saying at the end of the year, I'm going to have X, break that up by month and figure out, okay, at the end of January, I got to have this. End of February, I got to have this. End of March, I got to have that, and work your way up in stages. Don't task yourself with this huge, huge thing without figuring out what are these yard markers going to look like, or I know I'm pacing properly, I'm ahead, I'm behind, or whatever. Better yet, set yourself multiple goals. Just set a 3-month goal, a 6-month goal, a 9-month goal, and a 12-month goal. So you have these little milestones that you can check off as achieving or not achieving. Reflect back, see what you could have done differently in the first 3-month span. Revise, improve for the next one. Utilize the 14-day launch plan as part of whatever you are doing to sell more sites. There are so many tricks, tips, and secrets in this 14-day launch plan. You have to be using it. You will not be sorry. Okay? Ed's already got his site set on 15 sites in 3 months. That's great. You'll do it. There's no reason why you can't. No reason why you can't. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. If you got in late, you want to catch it from the beginning, a replay is going to start automatically. Otherwise, I think you get an email to replay. We'll put it on YouTube also, so you can always catch it later. You guys have been awesome. Can't wait to see you again in a couple weeks. Take care. Sell some sites. See you later.